We have started. My name is Sharon Moore, and I'm a member of the Age-Friendly Community of Practice and will be your moderator for today's session. I am pleased to welcome you to the second session in our Diverse Seniors webinar series, Immigrant and Refugee Seniors. To begin in the spirit of our journey to promote reconciliation, we would like to honor the truth of the shared history and acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who have lived and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today and those who have gone before us. So before we get into the session, I'd like to cover a few housekeeping items. It is important to us that you are comfortable for the next 90 minutes with that in mind. You have free use of your mute and camera options. For everyone's listening ease, we ask you to keep yourself on mute during the session unless you would like to make a comment. You can pull up the participants list by clicking on the participant icon at the bottom of your screen. If you see the icon there, the participants icon, just click and you will see an option to raise your virtual hand. It's a little hand there, you can wave it. Later on, we will be inviting you to click it when you want to speak to help us manage the conversation. So that'll be through the Q&A. Chat, we encourage everyone to use the chat box to share thoughts, ideas, and questions. We have Carol as our chat box monitor today, who will help relay your messages. We can see people have been sharing their name and their location and organizations already, so thank you for doing that. If you just joined us, we welcome you to share who you are in the chat box as well. So as we go through, and if you have a question, just add it to the chat box and we'll get back to it. The presentations will be recorded and shared on CORE Alberta. If you would like to turn off your cameras or adjust your screen name, you may do so now. So this series is being hosted by the Alberta Age-Friendly Community of Practice. The Alberta Age Community of Practice is designed to help communities that are considering or in the process of developing an age-friendly plan. In this closed group, members meet regularly and often offer support to each other in a mentoring way. There is also a discussion group that is open to anyone interested in the age-friendly concept or its 8 domains. The focus of this group is disseminating information and providing opportunities to ask questions and to share information. Members may or may not be involved in the age-friendly initiative to be a part of this group. If you are interested in learning more about age-friendly and these 2 groups, I encourage you to visit corealberta.ca. So what is age-friendly? Age-friendly is a model to enable active, healthy aging by focusing on 8 domains of community living. Age-friendly communities help seniors remain engaged in their communities by developing supportive, built, and social environments that facilitate exercise, social connection, and respect for seniors. The journey to becoming age-friendly employs a bottom-up participatory approach that involves the active participation of seniors of varying ages and abilities in all aspects of planning. The cornerstone of the age-friendly model is the development of a community plan which brings together traditional and non-traditional partners to identify community assets and strengths that facilitate social inclusion of seniors and factors that hinder it. Each age-friendly plan is unique as it addresses that community's specific needs, recognizes the diversity of its population, and promotes initiatives to reach as many people as possible. Implementation can be achieved through small steps initiated by local community members, through more major initiatives that require greater resources and contributions from a broad group of people, and collaborative efforts of a range of groups. In practical terms, age-friendly environments are free from physical and social barriers and supported by policies, systems, services, products, and technologies that promote health and build and maintain physical and mental capacity across the life course and enable people, even when experiencing capacity loss, to continue to do the things they value. Age-friendly practices help build older people's abilities to meet their basic needs, learn, grow, and make decisions, be mobile, build and maintain relationships, and be contributors of the community. In doing so, age-friendly practices recognize the wide range of capacities and resources among older people, anticipate and respond flexibly to aging-related needs and preferences, and respect older people's decisions and life choices. They also reduce inequities, protect those who are most vulnerable, and promote older people's inclusion and contribute to all areas of community life. Seniors are a diverse group, including different cultural and ethnic backgrounds, sexual orientation, and those with disabilities. Furthermore, older Albertans span more than 2 generations. They have a wide spectrum of skills, abilities, support systems, living arrangements, levels of education, health, and wealth, all influenced by the unique experiences, lifestyles, and circumstances. This series is exploring how seniors serving organizations, age-friendly partners, businesses, and others can help to foster a shared understanding of the needs of diverse populations of seniors and identify enablers to the inclusion. Through these sessions, the Alberta Age-Friendly Community of Practice aims to encourage and facilitate a variety of local initiatives that support a sense of belonging for diverse populations of seniors. This second session will discuss challenges immigrant and refugee seniors experience and explore ways to support their inclusion in age planning, friendly planning, and initiatives that communities could undertake to support a sense of belonging. We're very fortunate today to have with us Edgar Ayala. I'm sorry, Edgar Ayala, Yao Li, Jan Underwood, and Parminder Gill. Following the presentations, there will be time for questions and answers.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Edgar, I'm just going to give a little brief introduction on your experience. In fact, your wide range of experience. So just be a second. So,
okay.
Edgar, do you want to do that, or do you want me to do it? I'm okay to do it.
I can do it. Oh yeah, you have you have my part. Yeah. Please, you talk.
Okay, great. Edgar was born in 1967 in Lima, Peru. His pronoun is he. Edgar arrived in Calgary, Alberta in 2014 with his partner. In 2018, Edgar became a Canadian citizen. As a person of color, Edgar is proud of his Latin American heritage. In Peru, he had a career as a chemical engineer. Since living in Calgary, he completed studies in public relations and as a community support worker. Edgar is and has been a volunteer for a variety of nonprofit organizations. His years of work with immigrants have put him in contact with people from dozens of countries. Currently, Edgar works with young adults struggling with precarious economic and social conditions in Calgary. Edgar is an active member of the United Church and an LGBTQ seniors group. Also, he is a board member of the Calgary Police Service and the City of Calgary Older Adult Advisory Table. He is a dedicated advocate of social justice and is fully bilingual in English and Spanish. Edgar is going to share his lived experience as an immigrant older adult, focusing on what a sense of belonging means to him and the challenge he faced. Take it away, Edgar. Thanks.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Well, I will say first that when I arrived here in Calgary, in Canada, I was not considered a senior. But after the years, living here more than 10 years, right now I am senior. I am part of the senior group. So I am so happy to be part of this group. My experience as a person who getting older in Canada, an immigrant, person of color, a gay person too, it's very interesting for me. In all these years, I learned many things about the different issues happen to the senior people, especially in the area of immigrants. I was working in a nonprofit organization for more 4 years related with immigration, and I met a lot of people from different parts of the world. Um, I was in contact with different other seniors group because my intention was to be in contact with people who have some kind of similarities like me. I belong to other two groups related with the LGBTQ seniors over 55 and plus. I learned from them. I learned from the difficulties that many senior people struggle in Calgary. I think many of the LGBTQ seniors who were out years ago, when they start to getting older and have more difficulty for mobility, they need to use some facilities, care facilities for seniors, but sometimes they couldn't find a good response from these facilities because sometimes they were bullying, or they don't know if they were accepted for other seniors who live in this kind of facilities. Also, I think the more important things for the seniors LGBTQ, in my view, is we need to more socialize. I belong to a social group of gay men over 55, and the oldest in my group is 90 years old. So we have some kind of social activities. We work and to be in contact each other. We have coffee, dinners, pool, in one bar, normally every week. And we enjoy. I think the people need to, the people who are senior in Calgary need to be socialized. Respect to the immigrant LGBTQ, we are not a lot, or maybe we are, but many of us as immigrants, we can be out also in this country where we have a lot of rights. But it's important to learn from the others social groups here in Calgary, and learn from them that to be a person for LGBTQ is not is not a sin. It's part of our life, and we should be open to learn from the other people. Besides this, I belong to the Older and Adult Advisory Board and with City Calgary for more than 1 year. I'm very happy because I met wonderful people from different parts of the city, not exactly LGBTQ, but person who are with a lot of capacity to learn from me, and I learn from them. Our leader is 80, 86, 88, 88, 89 years old in the Older Advisory Board. Besides this, I am member of the other board related with seniors. I am part of the board, and we try to do a lot of activities for seniors LGBTQ. That's very important. Also, we have trans people, LGBTQ over 90 years old. So this, you see, in the future, more of an immigrant will be possible all here in Canada, and some of them they would like to live their own life. I think it's important to looking for opportunities for socialize and to understand each other. And many of new immigrants, especially who getting older or who are older right now, they should have the opportunity to be out if they want. After the years, maybe with different difficulties we have in our countries, we should have the opportunity to live our life. My only quote is the last I learned from Jane Fonda in the last months. I think she said, everybody could be young, but we are lucky to be old." Thank you so much.
Thank you, Edgar, for sharing. I love the quote and providing us with some insights into the lived experience of an immigrant older adult. Appreciate it. I would like to now introduce Yao Li. Yao is Canadian certified counselor, currently working at Calgary Immigrants Women's Association as a one-to-one counselor for seniors. Yao specializes in providing individual counseling services and facilitating group sessions aimed at improving the self-esteem of immigrant women seniors. With a deep commitment to supporting the well-being of this population, Yao helps them navigate the challenges of adaptation and aging in a new environment. Take it away, Yao.
Okay. Thank you so much. Welcome everyone. It's an honor for me to be here to represent for Immigrant Senior Sector Connection on the CORE platform. I personally come from CIWA, Calgary Immigrant Women's Association. But I'm going to put that away. I'm going to focus on an ISSC group on a CORE platform. So this platform is actually it's our 1-year anniversary, right? As last year, October 19th, we had a panel discussion meeting on the CORE platform. So diverse voices working in sector, working in the sector, like for immigrant seniors was made. So we discussed the barriers and opportunities in effectively supporting ethnocultural seniors to help them to settle down in the new homes and community. So follow that event. It was a great event. And after that, so our ISSC, Immigrant Senior Sector Connections group was officially launched on the CORE platform. So the group's aim is to increase collaboration and connection among service providers and work with immigrant and refugee seniors in Alberta. So it is a space to share practices and highlight existing gaps and share information, address challenges. So this is our group aim. If you haven't had the chance to check our group in that on the CORE platform, please do so. We'll just can you just help me to turn to that? Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, thank you for thanks, Carol, to send the statistics for me. So here's like an overview of the immigrant seniors in Alberta, according to the Statistics Canada. So 14.5% of the recent immigrants in 5 years prior to the 2021 census in Canada settled in Alberta. So as of 2021, 8,375 Alberta seniors are recent immigrants to Canada, and this is about 1.5% of Alberta seniors. So that really give us a general idea of how many immigrants, right, here living in Canada, they're seniors, right, in Alberta. And Alberta senior immigrants' place of birth was shifted over time. A large population of recent immigrants' place of birth is concentrated from Asia regions, Southern Asian, India and Pakistan, Southeast Asian, Philippines, and Vietnam, and East Asia, China. And this is quite in line with where my perspective, like was my experience, because I work with seniors, and I would like to say that most of my clients are from those regions. So it is, yeah, it is what I would like to add. Across Alberta, the highest concentration of immigrant seniors was in Calgary, 46.5%, and Edmonton, and those big cities, right? And the breakdown of recent immigrants is similar, with more in Calgary, and we see more immigrant seniors that like to settle down in Calgary, and Edmonton, 38.6%. Next page, please. I'm just reading the statistics. So for non-permanent resident seniors in Alberta, specific information on refugee seniors is not readily available as data. On non-permanent residents is grouped under the non-permanent resident category. As of 2021, about 860 Alberta seniors were non-permanent residents. They were concentrated in Edmonton, 47%, and Calgary, 42%. The top countries they originally from were India, China, and Philippines. Yes, that's kind of in line with what I've said. So thank you so much for doing that. So after the launch of ISSC group, so we kind of conduct unprofessional survey among our clients. So this survey was based on the client database, like it was based on two programs actually. So one is Grandma's Kitchen from SIWA, one-on-one counseling program, and the other one is ISC, Immigrant Services Calgary. So I think their database is from, probably Parminder can add to this side, is that I think it's from your CISP program, right?
Yes, yeah. Community Initiatives for Immigrant Seniors program.
Thank you so much for adding that. So we kind of have, so the survey was done from December 2023 to February 2024. So 3 open-ended questions were designed. So one is, what challenges do you experience as an immigrant senior? And number 2, how do you think we can support immigrant seniors? And number 3, do you know any of programs and services that help seniors? So findings from this need assessment provides an important snapshot of services needs from the immigrant seniors. Once again, this is not a professional design survey. It's just based on our clients. And for me, I think it's kind of biased because for me, I work for Calgary Immigrant Women's Association. So it's fair to say that all the clients that I work with are female. I'm not sure about CISP, but I don't have that data available, unfortunately. I don't know how many of your clients are female and how many of them are male. Yeah, but this is something that I would like to add. It's just the purpose of the survey is just to give us a snapshot, like, okay, what the seniors need, and what's their challenges, right? Number 1 is what's their challenges, and number 2 is what do they really need, and the third one is like what's the awareness, like how do they know, or how many services of like how much do they acknowledge that there is actually services around them. So this is the main purpose of that survey. Next page, please. Thank you. Okay, so we actually have we had like 120 surveys actually were collected from more than 20 ethnic groups, mainly from Chinese, Iranian, Ukrainian, and others. So they are all immigrants aged from 50 to 95 years old. I don't want to regard like 50 years old as a senior, but Yeah, according to our program, our founders, that we kind of set that threshold to serve more people. And the feedback, like I said, was collected by CIWA, Grandma's Kitchen, and ISSC CISP program, right? And like I said, we don't know most of them, I will say, they are female.
No, here can I just add one more thing? We have multicultural, male and female, everyone 55 and older.
Okay. So yeah, so for that 60 clients from your side made, the even, right? So that will lead us to 75% of the survey was based on female and 25 based on male. Thank you so much. Okay, so here's a brief, like the population, right? The ethnic groups of all the participants, respondents. As you can see here, most of them from China, Iran, and Ukraine, and Indian, Pakistan, and other ethnic groups as well. Next page, please. Thank you. I would like to speed up. So the survey results indicate that a diverse range of obstacles and challenges impacting the immigrant seniors to adapt and thrive in their new environment. So we can see here the biggest part is language barrier. It is the most common reported challenge, with 48% of them citing difficulties with language. And also we can see here financial, 37%, and employment, 27%, isolation, 14%. Like they report feeling isolated, or they don't have a sense of belonging, right? And they don't have that connection that they need. And also they have difficulties access to senior services, and adapting to a new environment. Next page, please. Thank you. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, you can just show them all. Thank you so much. And also in this founding, we kind of like design a question like, how long have you been here in Canada? Like since you immigrant to Canada. And we kind of found that actually the year, like the length of them being in Canada actually will kind of affect their needs of service, according to our survey. So if it's more like a new immigrant, a newer immigrants, senior, less than 1 year, so they're like mostly they complain about language barrier, and they need a service like transportation or settlement, or looking for a house, or looking for like transportation, because some of them complained that the transportation here in Canada is very confusing. And also psychological adoption, because they're still in that phase of grieving, right? They're still grieving for the loss of their previous identity, like we lost the connection, physical connection with their the people and the community that they once familiar with, and employee difficulties. And then we can see if the seniors from 1 year to 10 years, and then they're more familiar with the new environment, they complain more about employment difficulties, financial needs, also language barriers and isolation. And if the immigrant seniors are like been here for a longer time, more than, say, for example, like 10 years, more than 10 years, please help me to click the, yeah, I know this is a kind of completion. Yeah, so the thing that they care most is actually financial needs and the medical needs. But it's fair to say that after 10 years, they may get older, right? So they are seeking more like financial and medical assistance. Thank you so much. Next page. And we do also see that actually it varies. It also, depending on where the people they're coming from, and we kind of see the ethnic groups, like they have different needs as well. But we are going to do that probably next step. We're gonna go to do some more like in-depth survey. But we kind of see something from this survey is that people from different cultural backgrounds, they will have different kind of service needs. Say, for example, we see less needs in Chinese and Korean, South Korean community. Like they don't have much needs in finding a job, but we see that needs very high for Iranian and Ukrainian community. Yeah, but that's the next step. We're going to still to probably to do more investigation on that. And as to the service needs, so the most common mentioned service needs are financial support, for example, paying for housing, property tax, and assistance in getting basic needs, free food, subsidy for seniors, if they are not eligible for OAS, right? Because the seniors are coming and they have to live on at least 10 years to be eligible for OAS. So how can, yeah, they are very concerned about that. And employment support, they really need to find works and or to, you know, to be engaged, part of like to get into that employment workplace. And also they complain the public services, they mention that a lot. Like they really want bilingual service providers so they can easily overcome the language barrier. Also, they mentioned cheaper bus pass and more bus routes, because if they miss the bus, probably they will take another half an hour for them to get on the bus, and that's really not very convenient for them. And they also mentioned like a yellow page in native language for finding relative services. So we can see that actually these service needs are mostly based on the language barrier. And also they mentioned elder-friendly programs. Okay, so yeah, I think we're okay to go to the next page. Sorry, I've been taking a lot of time, but yeah, this is the last one that I have here. So this is the, like we also test, or we kind of like assess like how many services they used. Like do they know there is any service that are available to them? And I'll just quickly jump to the conclusion, is that 33 of respondents indicate that they are unaware of any services available specifically for immigrant seniors. So that means as service providers, probably we can work on more to the outreach and community, you know, the awareness building to let the seniors know that the services are available. And 20% of the respondents could identify the name of the service provider, but they're not familiar with the specific programs that the service provider offered. So this will once again suggest that while there is some awareness of the organizations, but there is limited understanding of how these services can benefit this population. So yeah, that's pretty much that we have done for now. And to be able to better support immigrant seniors, I would say that we, I think these challenges have been very well echoed across Alberta through our ISSC group, and all the service providers, we kind of share the same challenges, and we have a better understanding of the population that we served. We have a more understanding, and we kind of share resources. I don't know for the rest of the team, but for me personally, I really appreciate, because I've been able to make some connections during from this platform and invite some of the experts and to use the services to my Grandma's Kitchen group and to benefit the seniors. So we will continue to discuss and identify the unique needs that the immigrant seniors face and how we can make impact provincially on these issues. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Yao, for providing information on the profile of immigrant and refugee seniors and some of the challenges they face. And I know I've written down lots of questions here for later. So just very informative. Thank you. Next, we have Jan Underwood. Jan has been a public awareness coordinator, community educator, and event planner at Care for Newcomers in Red Deer for 22 years. She delivers 3 levels of intercultural workshops, anti-racism response training, and a variety of cultural cafes, social justice, and human rights events for the public, and many different organizations. Initiated the community, love the name, Power of One annual conference held in Red Deer. Okay, Jen.
Hi. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of this webinar. Some of you may not have heard of Care for Newcomers. We recently rebranded, so I'll give you just a little bit of background on the organization. So if we could go to the next slide. So started in 1979, a society in 1980, which was about the time that I arrived in Canada from England. So we're about the same age. And so I've been here for 43 years. I've been with CARE for 22. And now approaching, excuse me, my own retirement, which will be the end of this month. So looking at, you know, all the things that are provided for seniors from my personal point of view. So Central Alberta Refugee Effort and Catholic Social Services and Central Alberta Immigrant Women's Association are the major settlement agencies in Red Deer. We're very much a smaller center. So it was really interesting for me to do a little bit of research on this topic of what was being, what programs there were out there for seniors, and how people reach out to seniors, and you know, what was successful and what was not. So if you could go to the next screen, thank you. So we have now 60 staff, 3 program pillars, so English for Life in Canada, youth settlement, community engagement, and a very strong community stakeholder. If we go forward, I'll be fairly brief on this part. Our mission through partnerships, programs, and services can support successful newcomer integration. Newcomers feel valued as contributing members of an inclusive Central Alberta. So that really did make me think about the contributing as a senior. And so I think Red Deer is actually quite lacking in offering services for seniors and the outreach. So I'll go into that in a minute. That's one of the challenges. So the English for Life in Canada, probably quite similar to what a lot of your organizations do. In talking to the person who does the workplace ESL and also does a mentorship program, we found that a large number of the mentors are actually seniors, but some of them are retiring now. So what happens at that point? You know, what happens when they retire? And the conversation groups, we do have a certain number of people that are seniors that join the conversation groups. And I think it's largely because it's less formal than a class. So some of them are intimidated by the ESL classes when they're in with younger people that are more technically you know, experienced, and they know how to deal with things, but some of the seniors do not have that experience. And so the conversation groups are very helpful for the people that are older. So next screen, please. We have a youth settlement program, doesn't involve seniors so much, but if families come to events that are held for the youth, then that usually involves the senior members as well. Okay, so I'll just go on to community engagement is the team that I belong to. And I would say that this is the team that is most likely to provide services for seniors. So we do have a one-on-one matching, and some of those members are seniors. We've got lots and lots of group activities to which families are invited. And we find that if families come, then usually the seniors come as well. So that's one of the ways that we try and reach the seniors. And that includes the community bridging. For example, this past few months, we've been doing a lot of sports events in a partnership with the City of Red Deer and with the community bridging coordinator. And so that's bringing the seniors out with their families, maybe just to observe, you know, to cheer their people on in a team. But at least it's getting the families out and the seniors too. We do have some senior volunteers. I've had one lady who has worked with me for 20 years, and she's still working with me, and she's almost 80. She'll be 80 next month. So we do, you know, if we can retain the senior volunteers, then that is a way for them to socialize and to feel that they're contributing, and also to be included. The settlement support in rural areas, we go to a lot of the rural areas around central Alberta. So a lot of people in those areas have more challenges, of course, because they don't have an actual agency that they can attach to. And so we're trying to offer support to them by the people that travel around. Intercultural awareness training is myself, and that's offered to anyone and everyone. I've not really focused on seniors in that, but seniors have been included in some of the things that we do. So employer engagement as well. I was listening to what Yao was saying, also about, like, I'm still working, but I could have retired 10 years ago. So a lot of seniors are staying within the workforce, but finding it hard to get a job, and then hard to keep the job, hard to be retained, and sometimes devalued. The older that you get, you know, there tends to be a devaluing. So I think that's can be a major problem in terms of the financial problems that a lot of people have. If you could move ahead, I think that was supposed to go at the end, but hopefully it's not the end. So in Red Deer, there are two main organizations which offer services specifically for seniors. So the Golden Circle Senior Resource Center is there for seniors and their well-being. But when I spoke to them, they do reach out to seniors generally, but not to immigrant and refugee seniors. So there's no specific outreach to people from other cultures. It's basically a one-size-fits-all. A lot of what they do, if it's multicultural, a lot of it is European descent. They do things like cultural cafes and things like that, but they're not necessarily reaching some of the people that they could be. The Red Deer Senior Citizens Downtown House, it's a drop-in service. Again, there's nothing specific for immigrant and refugee seniors. Other organizations offer some services and programs for seniors, but most are not intercultural. And the programming, the food, the entertainment offered are often quite Canadian. So that that's a deterrent for a lot of senior immigrants and refugees. You know, they don't want to go somewhere if they don't think they'll be included or they'll belong. People will cater for them, you know. So I think that it's quite exclusive in a way. We could go to the next one. So at CoP for Newcomers, all the ESL classes, the family events, which seniors do attend, celebrations, we do a lot of celebrations, a lot of sports events. They do attend with their families. So I guess that's, you know, that's good, but I think we need to be more specific. Catholic social services referrals, such as financial assistance, medical, I'm sure that the whole spectrum of services that they offer. I just mentioned a couple that I thought would be specific for seniors. We have a very new African Caribbean Center, and they do things like a collective kitchen, which I've been a part of, and that definitely is involving seniors. And then Kaiwa, Central Alberta Immigrant Women's Association, has the Hippie program, and seniors are often the ones that are at home with the children. So, you know, they're quite often the main caregiver for children. And so the Hippie program offers training for that. I don't know if you're all familiar with what the Hippie program stands for. I've got it written down here somewhere. Home instruction for parents of preschool youngsters is what it is. But I think a lot of seniors are the main person that is doing that. And they also offer a sewing program for all ages of women, but a lot of the women that attend are seniors. Thank you. So challenges to consider which affect engagement of senior immigrants and refugees. And some of these have been mentioned before, but I'll include them because I'm maybe wording it a slightly different way. PTSD from prior experiences, mistrust of medical practices here and linguistic issues, isolation due to lack of English, reluctant to join a class, especially if there are younger people in the class. They stay at the literacy level longer. It's a slower progress. Sometimes they can't attend because they're the person who is responsible at home for cooking, cleaning, childminding. So a very low level of social inclusion. Not used to technology. That's why I've got my assistant in here with me. He's my IT person. But you know, people shouldn't be thought less of because they're not technically savvy, right? Because seniors have a lot to offer. You know, other things that they can offer and get help with the technical things. So sometimes frustration levels are very high. Dependency on family for transportation. The bus system here in Red Deer is not the greatest. There's one main bus station. The buses are not very often. Often people have a fair walk to the bus stop. They're nervous to take the bus because they don't know the procedure. We do actually take people out to go on the bus with one of us and to learn how to do it. But quite often the seniors are not part of that program. Or a cab, or they might have mobility issues. And a lot of people, you know, have surgeries and things that happen as they're getting older, including myself, that make mobility very difficult and hard to join in things, participate in things when you've got a mobility issue, because you're always worried about, is there an elevator? Is it close by? How far away are the toilets? You know, like that kind of thing. And then depression, I think it was mentioned also by Yao, but loss of extended family, loss of your status, loss of friends, and loss of a place of worship. Here in Red Deer, we now have quite a few different places of worship, but definitely if somebody is Buddhist or if they're Hindu, they have to go to Edmonton. So we certainly don't represent all the faiths. Thank you. So one of the best practices that we did have, unfortunately, we lost the funding a few years ago, but it was specifically for seniors, and it was led by one program coordinator with a volunteer assisting. So it was a lady that was leading it, and the assistant was male, and primarily that was so that we could encourage male and female participants. So they reached out to the ESL classes and other organizations for the people to attend. They went on weekly excursions in the community, for example, to the museum, to libraries, recreational facilities, places of interest in the area. And they also provided information sessions. Depended on volunteer drivers. Sometimes there were gender issues because men and women have different interests. So the coordinator tried to accommodate these. We found the ladies liked to go on excursions. The men liked the information. They like to know about banking, or occasionally it was things like, what do you do if you have a car accident? You know, how do you deal with insurance? Those kinds of things. The numbers of participants varied a lot. We tried very much to be culturally appropriate and tried to be creative, but with limited funding. Thank you. So suggestions moving forward for the inclusion of senior immigrants and refugees in programming and services. Research needs to be specifically focused on senior men, women from different countries and LGBTQ+, given equal importance and value as other programs. I think what has happened over the years is less importance has been given to seniors. And I think we need to really, give it more importance with trained staff. What does inclusion look like? Research and address the actual needs of diverse seniors, meet people in their homes if necessary, or another safe space with family or other interpreters. Don't assume the needs. Don't think that we know what they need. That was one of our problems, I think, is that we thought we knew what the seniors needed. And then when we actually got into doing the program, we realized it wasn't always the same thing. Don't generalize different cultures, which you're probably all aware of. Reach out to different cultures from other countries and Indigenous. There's a lot of Indigenous elders that meet, and maybe there's a way that we could encourage the seniors to do things together. Our Indigenous population here in Red Deer is very welcoming, very friendly, very open, and it would be nice if we could see some collaboration with the seniors from other countries. Could gatherings be held in their homes, place of worship, ethnic cafe, cultural organizations? I remember talking to a lady that worked at CARE, and she had her mom living with them. She was from India. And I said, your mom doesn't come to our senior program. Is there a reason for that? And so she won't come here. But if you held it in her home, she might. Liaise with other stakeholders and people with community bridging programs, build relationships with them, and work together. I'd like that to be one of the things that we think about specifically, is working together with the people in your community. I remember going to the Chinese Association one time and doing a presentation, and the person that was the guest speaker before us, he had mentioned at the end of his speech, he said, we've got to get the seniors out. We've got to get them out into the community, and really trying to encourage them. And I thought, yay, what a great segue into what we were going to talk about, because we were talking about the same thing. Come to CARE, we'll provide programs for you. We'll help you with your English and so on. Did they come? No. So then we had to think, why did they not come? Are they feeling, that really the help that they get is within their community, and they prefer to be within their community where people understand each other, you can speak the language, you live in the same areas, and so on. Is that just more comfortable for people? Sorry, that was mine. It's turned off, but it's for some reason ringing. Yeah, I think we just have one more page, maybe. Oh, it's just the contact information. So if you want to contact myself or CARE generally, you can contact there. I did contact the city. I contacted Red Deer LIP and various organizations to ask if they even kept a record of the seniors that attend their functions, or when they're doing a community engagement kind of program, when they're inviting people for community conversations, do they keep a tab on how many seniors actually come to them? And at the moment, they don't. So it was interesting. It was very enlightening to me because I thought, well, you know, perhaps that's something that we should be doing. So thank you very much. I'll welcome any questions. And I'm moving to Edmonton. So the Edmonton folks, maybe I'll be able to link up with some of you and help work on some of these things. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Jan, for providing great insights, especially on the care for newcomers, and great suggestions. I just wanted to point people to the chat box because people are placing resources in the chat box. So thank you very much. That's helpful. Wasma just noted that the loss of traditional roles along with health and mental health issues are among the most significant challenges faced by seniors in Canada. So great resources. Thanks everyone for participating. So I'd now like to introduce Parminder Gill. Parminder has worked with Immigrant Services Calgary as a gateway newcomer planner for seniors since 2012 and loves working with immigrants and refugee seniors. So take it away, Parminder.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Okay. Okay, yeah. So thank you. I think Sharon already introduced me. So my name is Parminder Gill. And now I'm going to talk about my organization. I'm working with Immigrant Services Calgary. Since 1977, Immigrant Services Calgary has been providing a wide range of settlement services to immigrants and refugees, helping unleash their economic, social, and civic potential. So in 2020, ISSC integrated the development of Gateway. That's our new initiative, a community collaboration of over 75 organizations. And we are committed to connecting immigrants and refugees to the right programs and services to reach their goals. Next slide, please. Okay, yeah, thank you. So now let's go ahead and look at some numbers to highlight the impact ISSC has established in 2022-2023 fiscal year. We provided total 39,793 services to 14,687 people from 146 countries. So including language, employment, personalized plans, and a lot of workshops. All in all, this data underscores ISSC's significant impact and commitments to empowering newcomers, facilitating their integration into Canadian society, and ultimately building stronger and more inclusive communities. So as today we are talking about older adults, immigrant older adults, newcomers, and we already talked about, many challenges. So now I am going to talk about existing support systems. Specifically, I'm going to talk about some federal benefits, of course, provincial, but it will be on Calgary based. So we have government programs and services, non-profit organizations, community initiatives, and healthcare services. Okay, next slide, yeah. So for federal benefits, if we are going to talk about seniors' federal benefits, so if a senior client is 65 years of age, and if he has completed 10-year residency, but now it's 20 years, so then he or she can apply for old age security pension. And Canada pension plan is different, like it's all whatever a person has contributed throughout his lifespan. And then for low-income seniors, they can also apply for granted income supplement. So that's federal. We provide these information sessions like for our one-on-one clients, or we provide informational workshops as well. Then we have provincial benefits specifically. So in Alberta, we have seniors Financial Assistance Program, Alberta Seniors Benefit, Seniors Home Adaptation and Repair Program, Seniors Property Tax and Deferral Program, and Alberta Aids to Daily Living. And then municipal, specifically for Calgary, seniors programs and services. I just add the website here as well for more information. Okay, next slide, please. So we have many nonprofit organizations. So I didn't put the names for all the organizations, but I tried my best. So now let's take a look at the nonprofit organizations in Calgary that play important role in supporting seniors and newcomers. These organizations offers a range of services from counseling and community support to settlement assistance and cultural enrichment. They provide essential resources and programs tailored to the diverse needs of our community, ensuring that seniors and newcomers have access to the support they need to thrive. Together, these nonprofit organizations contribute significantly to the well-being and integration of individuals and families across Calgary, fostering a more inclusive and supportive community for all. Next slide, please. Okay, at all senior serving organizations, there are so many programs, but I'm going to talk about my own program, Community Initiatives for Immigrant Seniors Program. So we host a weekly activities and community events tailored specifically for our multicultural senior clients. These include conversation classes, basic computer classes, life skill workshops, fitness sessions, public speaking workshops, and creative writing classes. These activities serve not only to enrich the lives of our seniors, but also contribute significantly to their social well-being. The response from participants have been overwhelmingly positive, and with seniors expressing their love for these activities and events. And sometimes the interesting thing is we have to put our senior clients in the waiting list, because there is a lots of they want to join more than 2 activities in a week. These initiatives demonstrate the dedication of senior serving organizations to providing holistic support and fostering a sense of community among our senior population. Next slide, please. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about healthcare services. So we have coverage for seniors program. We have Alberta Blue Cross. This program provides comprehensive healthcare coverages for seniors. It's for everyone. This is by Government of Alberta, including prescription drugs, medical supplies, and services not covered by the Alberta Healthcare Insurance Plan. So anyone who is 65 and older who has resided 3 months in Alberta can apply for this benefit. Then we have dental and optical assistance for seniors, recognizing the importance of dental and optical. So this program offers financial assistance to eligible seniors for necessary dental and optical services. So there are $5,000 for 5 years for dental services from Government of Alberta and $230 for every 3 years for opticals. Then there is special needs assistance for seniors program for seniors with specific health needs or disabilities. This program offers financial assistance to help cover the cost of necessary medical equipment, supplies, and services. In Calgary, we have home care services, seniors requiring assistance with daily living. They can access home care services, which may include personal care, nursing care, and assistance with household tasks. So these healthcare services are crucial in ensuring that seniors receive the support and care they need to maintain their health and quality of life as they age. Then I'm going to share about some success stories and best practices for our community initiative for Immigrant Seniors program. So our standout success story is our creative writing project, a collaboration between CISP seniors and MRU creative writing students. This project, initiated in 2018, has yielded remarkable results. To date, we have published 4 books and a video anthology showcasing the creativity and talent of our participants. And we just started the next project in September. So yesterday we had that class again. So we have 20 multicultural seniors and with creative writing students from Mount Royal University. So during the challenges times of the pandemic, we adapted by moving the project online, resulting in the creation of the video anthology titled by Joy, Happiness, and the Good Life. So I really want to invite everyone, please, like whenever you get chance, please watch the anthology on YouTube at your own convenience. And this is the link. So this project exemplifies the power of collaboration and creativity in enriching the lives of immigrant seniors, providing them with opportunities for self-expression and connection. So maybe later on, we will put this link in the chat as well. Opportunities for improvement. So now we know that there are so many challenges. There are lots of sport is available as well. But still, I mean, we need to talk about opportunities for improvement so that we can reach to, most of the seniors. So this is only for future improvements. This includes looking at areas like where sport could be insufficient or lacking alongside suggestions for enhancing and strengthening sport systems. Next slide, please. One of the most vital aspects of supporting newcomers and immigrant older adults is ensuring that they're aware of the available community initiatives and programs. So, like for example, every year during Seniors Week in June, I go to, there is Red FM radio, or my colleague, she speaks, other language, she goes to that radio station. So we just going to talk about our program. So more and more seniors are aware of our services, and most of our clients, they come via word of mouth as well. So the 2 key strategies that can be considered are, first, we can increase awareness by actively reaching out to the community through diverse communication channels. This includes leveraging social media platforms, community events, and local publications to spread the word about available resources effectively. Second, we should focus on ensuring that our outreach efforts are inclusive. This means utilizing languages commonly spoken by newcomers to reach a broader audience and ensure accessibility for all individuals. So I think by implementing these strategies, we can enhance our outreach efforts and better support newcomers and immigrant older adults. Not only in Calgary, but I think, around Alberta as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so turning our attention to another vital aspect of sport for newcomer and immigrant older adults, improving accessibility. It's crucial that immigrant program locations and facilities are inclusive and are able to accommodate the needs of older adults with mobility challenges or disabilities. So first we can look into evaluating the accessibility of program locations and facilities. This involves conducting through assessments to identify any barriers and implementing necessary modifications to ensure inclusivity. Secondly, exploring options for providing transportation assistance to help older adults participate in program activities is crucial. So we have, for example, our main office is at in the downtown in Calgary, but we provide, other community organizations, like for example, we have Genesis Center or libraries. So one of our gateway planners, like we go there and we provide services there as well. As many older adults face mobility challenges that may prevent them from accessing services, by offering transportation support such as for public transit or coordinated group transportation services, we can ensure that no one is left behind. That's just, we can try in the future as well. So next slide, please. Collaboration and partnerships. So moving forward, let's examine the importance of collaboration and partnerships in supporting newcomers and immigrant older adults. Strengthening ties with other community organizations, government agencies, and local businesses can significantly enhance the reach and impact of community initiatives. So to achieve this, organizations should focus on two key strategies. First, organizations can strengthen partnerships with other community entities. This involves pooling resources and expertise to extend the reach of programs and services. So by leveraging, collective efforts, organizations can amplifying their impact and better address the diverse needs of immigrant seniors. And next, exploring opportunities for collaboration is essential. That's our, I think the success of our program is based on collaboration. So by identifying gaps in service delivery and working collaboratively to address them, organizations can maximize the effectiveness of programs, whether it's coordinating services or sharing best practices. Collaboration allows for a more comprehensive approach to supporting immigrant seniors. So by implementing these strategies, organizations can foster a culture of collaboration and partnership with ultimately benefits to our newcomers and immigrant older adults. Next slide, please. Feedback mechanism. So now let's explore how organizations can establish effective feedback mechanism to support newcomer and immigrant older adults. Implementing robust feedback channels allows organizations to gather valuable insights from participants and stakeholders, leading to continuous improvement in community initiatives. Firstly, so organizations can establish feedback mechanism to solicit input on program effectiveness, satisfaction levels, and areas for improvement. This could involve implementing surveys, focus groups. So we also, that's part of our program. We did lots of focus groups or suggestion boxes to gather feedback from participants and stakeholders. And additionally, organizations can utilize feedback to continuously evaluate and enhance the quality and relevance of community initiatives. By analyzing feedback data and incorporating suggestions into program planning and implementation, organizations can ensure that their initiatives remain responsive to the evolving needs of immigrant seniors. And of course, I want to add here that collaboration with grassroots organizations is a very big, step. So, in conclusion, it's essential that we continue to work towards creating an inclusive and supportive environment for newcomers and immigrant older adults, not only in Calgary, but surrounding areas, by understanding their needs, and providing adequate support, we can ensure that everyone has the opportunity to thrive in our community beyond immigration. So I just want to share here that my personal experience, we just need to encourage our immigrant seniors, that because most of them, they have highly educated, but we just need to encourage them. We need to empower them in different ways, that yes, they can contribute towards Canadian society as well. So, conclusion, so I mean, there is lots of sports available. So it's just the idea, if they are approaching these non-profit organizations, or, if they're aware of these services. So I would like to, we are going to open the floor for question and answers. But before that, just like if anyone wants to, contact our gateway services. So our phone number is 403-265-1120. That's our main line. And our office is in downtown Calgary. Thank you so much. And we are open for question and answers now, I think, Sharon. Yeah.
That's right. Thank you, Parminder. Great suggestions. I see the chat box going crazy here. So please refer back to the chat box. I don't have time to go through them all. So if you could take that initiative yourself to learn from each other. I heard a lot of collaboration there, Parminder, and I think that's the route to go. We need to learn from each other as well, from provide learning for senior immigrants. So it's time for questions. So I am going to, if you have a question for our panelists, you can type your question in the chat. Please be specific if it's for one of the panelists. You can also click reactions at the bottom of the screen to see an option to raise your virtual hand. When Carol or I call on you, you can unmute and ask the question. All right, first question. Carol, have you seen a questions? Don't, hang on, I've got to get the...
Hello, and I just want to start by reiterating all the great information that people are adding into the chat. So if you have a chance to take a look and go through and just see what's there, that would be fantastic. I think there's lots of great information. I guess some question around reaching out to different partners, the best way to do that with the organizations that are in your community, or how do age-friendly initiatives or local initiatives contact you? Can they just reach out if they're interested in discussing how they include multicultural aspects to their age-friendly plans?
Is the question to somebody specific?
No, it's just in general. So
Okay.
If anybody wants to provide any information on how best folks can get in touch with you if they're doing a community initiative, and what that would look like, and how you could integrate with an age-friendly initiative in a community.
And you don't have to be a speaker to respond. If you have feedback on that, please just respond, unmute and respond.
I think Stephanie already put in the chat that because every month we have a meeting, right? And then if they want to collaborate with Alberta Age-Friendly Community of Practice, so that's the way. Or if within the organizations, we can always, we are always open if there is anyone who want to collaborate, and then of course, like, we can going that way as well. But if it's specifically via age-friendly, then I think we need to contact with them.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Another question. There was some conversation, or it was raised around different considerations when bringing people together in different places, but also around the food, and that can be a big thing. Can anybody point to any resources or where one might look if they're looking to expand the type of food they provide at a gathering to be more inclusive?
So Calgary based, we have some, I can share a few links as well for Good Food Box, Calgary Fresh Routes and Fresh Stone Produce if you want. If they, yeah.
Great. So it looks like Good Food Box.
Yeah.
Is put into the chat. So thank you, Parminder. Is there?
I think one answer from what we've done in Red Deer here is we collaborate with different restaurants. We do have quite a few ethnic restaurants here, and we collaborate with them in terms of providing food for an event. And so sometimes they'll donate food, and sometimes we pay for it. So it's kind of a give and take kind of relationship. And we offer a lot of promotion for any groups that are helping us. So for the Community Power of One conference that we do, depending where we're doing it, if it's in a hotel, then we use their food. But sometimes we bring food in and we do some kind of a deal with the restaurant, so that we also use them in a case where we do have funding. Then we will we'll purchase the food, and then sometimes they donate. So it's kind of a win-win situation.
That's great. Sounds like a great partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sandy Lyons also noted in the chat that Prosper Canada, this is aside from the food, provides an online benefits wayfinder online tool for newcomer immigrants and other populations to find benefits available for government and other programs. So there's another resource that's been placed in the chat. Unless I see another question, I have a question. Parminder, it sounds like you and Jan both provided feedback around groups and around participation in the groups. And I'm just wondering, you had talked about you often had a wait list in your groups. And I'm just wondering, what do you feel is the success for that? Like, what do you do that you find encourages people to attend your groups?
I would say that I don't know if they, because Calgary, like we have more, of course, we have more seniors, more immigrant seniors. Sometime, like for example, in our office, now we have a new design at our office. So we don't have that many capacity, that many people we can have, like more than 25 senior clients, for example. For that, sometimes we are booking libraries whenever we have, big events or stuff. But why people? Because they don't want to lose their spot in that specific class. So we have some senior clients, they are coming since many years. And I mean, you will be surprised. A couple of years ago, we just graduate some of the seniors because they were in that conversation corner since, 5 years. So, and we have new people who want to come our conversation corner. Every week we have that activity. And we really want to give the opportunity to new clients, right? So then we said, okay, you will be in the waiting list if still someone drop or whatever, or we can start one group just once in a month for you guys, like who already have, because your English skills are good now. So you are attending more community events and programs, but they are saying that they are learning in each and every session something new. So that's why they don't. And it's really like inclusion in the society. They make new friends, it's multicultural. So it's multicultural. They are whenever, like last week I saw a client and She speaks Arabic, I think. Yeah. And then when she came to know that there are more people in that class who speak same language, even though our volunteer speaks English, she wanted to come. She came for the class and she just wanted to make. So I think that's another way to make friends in the new city, in the new country, because otherwise social isolation is a very big barrier for our newcomer immigrant seniors. So they just want and they love to attend other programs. So once they are in our weekly classes, they know they will get opportunity to attend community events. We always announce whenever we have something new, like we just celebrated National Seniors Day on October 1st. So then they know they will join together and they love to do that. Because I think the another reason is their adult children, they're immigrant seniors, and their adult children, they're busy in their own life. So they cannot take them and they are kind of scared. So when they have that friends group, they are mostly, they are just meeting at a train station and they're coming together for the class. So that's their purpose for that day, that they are going to attend a class. So they don't want to lose that connection.
I'm hearing that just even providing the space for conversation of the same language, comfort to come into the group. So thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So we have 1 minute left. Do we have one more question? And we can please go again to the chat box. Just a reminder, because these resources are great that are coming through. Okay.
I just would like to add something, is that sometimes the answers come from an unlikely source. So I had been contacted by the Waskesiu Housing Society, which is a high-rise apartment building for seniors. And they do have different cultures there. But often when they have an event, it's not multicultural. It's the usual things that they always do, And so they asked us if we would come in and talk to them and arrange some events with them. And so we did the usual thing, we did posters. We didn't think we could go into there because they're all in individual apartments. Anyway, we turned up for the gathering, for the conversation, and nobody turned up. So it was like, so what do we do, Well, the caretaker of the building says, I've got an idea. So I said, what's that? And he said, well, they have coffee mornings. And this one group meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and another group meets on Mondays and Wednesdays. And they don't really mix, but why don't you just come to their coffee meeting? And so we did. And I took a senior volunteer with me. And we ended up having a great conversation. And I said, I thought they would think we were intruding, but they didn't seem to. And they had really wonderful stories that they wanted to share too. And so we ended up going back and back and back and having these conversations and sharing food. And eventually we were planning some cultural cafes. So it was the caretaker's idea, come to the coffee time and get to know some of the people. So it was the building relationship part, that I think is really important when you're trying to do outreach. How do we reach people that don't have a family, don't have, an extended family to consult with or to tell them or to take them to things? How do you reach them? And so that was one of the ways that we did it.
Thanks, Jen. That's a wonderful way to end. And I think I'll just share David Phillips' story in the chat to conclude. It's the problems and challenges are well known and researched, but what is needed is effective solutions. I recently completed 2 pilot projects for specific solutions. One was to have face-to-face meetings between older adults who would normally communicate with each other. Each told their stories using interpreters. Everyone found it transformative. Some even choked up with the emotion of being able to tell their stories and realizing that we all have the same hopes and challenges, even though we are in different ethnic groups. So thank you, David, for sharing that. I just want to conclude. Thank you, everyone. A big thank you to the presenters, Edgar, Yao, Jan, and Perminder, for sharing your experiences. A link to the session survey will be put in the chat. Please take a couple of minutes to provide us with your feedbacks as it helps to develop future sessions. Also, a big thanks to our co-host for today's session, the Immigrant Senior Sector Connections group, and a link to CORE Alberta, which is where you'll find this video, will be placed in the chat. We encourage you to join the Immigrant Senior Sector Connections group and the age-friendly groups that are available. So lastly, as I mentioned, this is the second session of the Diverse Seniors webinar series, and I would like to encourage you to visit corealberta.ca to register for the remaining sessions. So thank you. And everyone, thanks for joining, and have a wonderful day, and hope to see you at the following sessions. Bye-bye.